Welcome to Man Cave on Trains, and today I'm going to show you how I fitted this wind turbine to this N-gauge model railway. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Back in a moo. Well, thank you for joining me, folks, and here we go. Here is our wind turbine. Two little wires, and there's the turbine itself. A little N-gauge wind turbine that I purchased off Evil Bay. So we're going to put that somewhere about there, on the high spot. Because I have an elevated section of track here, and the rest of it starts to sort of go low in here. So we need it on high ground. There isn't a lot on this part of it, so, oh, excuse the click, that's a horrible tripod. So we're going to put it here somewhere. What do you reckon? Here, here? We can always move these trees. Do we come at the front here? Too close to the track, I think. I think it needs to be here. So it's less of a knock risk. And I prefer to have my taller stuff towards the back of the layout, because if it's at the front where I walk, it's more likely to get knocked. So I think we're going to stick it there. So what we're going to do is get our drill, gnaw a hole right through the layout. And this layout is quite thick. We have 4 inches of foam here. That goes to 1.5 inches of foam here, and then because this is built on a kitchen table, so we have a sort of 2-inch kitchen table, 1.5 inches of foam there, 4 inches of foam there, and we're going to go right through the lot of it. So let's see how we get on. Right, here we go. I have my drill bit. That's a nice long drill bit in my little drill. So I've checked underneath. There's no wires, no fittings underneath, so we can basically gnaw our hole where we want. Let's get some flash on. There we go. So we're going to come right here and just gnaw through. Now we're now starting to get in the table. There we go. So we're now through with our polystyrene. Let me just get Henry and hoover that lot up. Come on, Henry. There we go. So Henry has now done his job. Now you're going to say, how are you going to power this? Well, the wind turbine itself is actually 3 volt. It requires, I think that's 1.5 to 3 volts. The shortest supply I've got on my layout is 6 volt. The rest of it is variable. Now in my variable transformer, I have power and my lights on here. So I don't really want to use that because that goes sort of 1 to 12 volts. And the lights tend to work about 6, which is going to be too much. For the amount of power that's going to use, I rigged up a simple battery pack, which I nicked off a set of cheap Poundland LED lights. All I've done is I've wired a fresh piece of wire in. This is nice sort of stiff. I'll tell you what this is. That's old telephone cable. So that's the centre out of telephone cable. So it's really stiff and really thin. And I find it ideal for model making. So we've got to stick this up from underneath through that hole we've just drilled, connect the turbine to it, and then the turbine can go on. So let me try and feed that up from underneath. Right, best way to get them up is if we twist these wires together so they don't get snagged up. You can, and how I've got thinner wires through before is by putting a drinking straw through there first and feeding them through that. But I'm hoping, this being quite stiff, I can get it up without. So bear with me while I try and find the hole. Yes, you can make your own jokes. But we're going to try and find the hole and get this through. If not, I shall have to use the drinking straw. Hang on a second. Yeah. Come on. Come on. I think that's got to be through now, isn't it? Yeah. Can I reach it? There we go. Hang on. Alright, there we go. There is our wire through the hole. Right. Here is our wire. We now need to fit the wind turbine onto that. Hang on, let me zoom you out a little. There we go. So here's the wires for our wind turbine. And we're just going to put them on with some tape. Because we're only carrying 3 volts, I would ordinarily solder these. But because it's only 3 volts going through there, and the connections will be underneath the table anyhow. No, they won't. They're going to be midway. So I need to do a really neat and small, narrow connection, because they've both got to feed through that hole. And there is our connections complete. So from underneath I need to pull that back through, and we'll see about getting that bonded down. Where are we? Come on. Will that go through that hole, them connections? Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Our wind turbine is mounted. Marvellous. Now we've got to decide which direction it goes and just bonds it. I think it's going to look something nice like that. There you go. How about that? At a nice angle. So what we've got, no more nails or hard as nails, whatever. I've just unscrewed the cap and a little bit squeezing out. So let's dab a little bit of that on the bottom of the turbine. And a little bit around the hole, which I will apply with my finger. There we go. So we can kind of fill that hole up a little. And we'll have a little bit of a base to actually apply our stuff to. And if a little bit squidge out, it don't matter, because we've got a grass around it anyhow. Now we have that, we can now mount this turbine back, pulling these wires back through. There we go. Push and give them a little twist. There you go. There you go. Once that's dry, that is going to be fixed in place. And also, I can weather the base of that. So let's have a look at our in-place wind turbine. There it is. Now then, let me show you how we're going to do a little bit of grassing around that, a little bit of weathering. Tell you what, we could actually ballast around there a little. We could put a little ballast around it. So let's have a go and see if we can get some ballast around there. Then we can get that wind turbine switched on and see if it works. So what we have here, now is a little bit of PVA and water mix. You can see it's like the consistency of probably double cream. So, and in here I have a teaspoon with some ballast and a pipette. Ting, 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 ting. Right, so what we need to do is, I can't get the camera on the other side of the table, unfortunately, or else I won't be able to work it. So we just need to drop a little bit of this PVA around the base of this wind turbine. That will do one of two things. It will slightly run underneath it, helping it stick. And also it will most certainly give our ballast something to stick to, because we're going to put a little ballast base around this. So there we go, a little bit of that all the way around. There we go. And being PVA and water, this will dry clear. As you will see when I probably put a picture of it up tomorrow. So we've got our little bit of base on there. And now we can put a little bit of ballast around it. Don't worry about the loose stuff actually on the white pad. There's no glue on that white pad, so when that's dry, that will just hoover off, leaving the white base there. In fact, everything what's not stuck to that PVA will actually hoover off. There we go. Here we have a ballasted base around our wind turbine. Now if we wanted to cover that white pad up altogether, we could. And just leave the stump sticking out. The other thing you can do with this ballast is while it's on there like that, if you now dropped PVA over that, very wet PVA, it will actually dry and set like rock and set all that in place. But for now, I shan't do that until I'm sure whether I want it uncovered or covered. So once that's dry tomorrow, I'll hoover the excess off. And whatever stuck to the PVA will stay. And whatever isn't, we'll just sort of, you know, hoover up. So we'll see. But for now, there we go. There is our wind turbine installed. Now you say, what are we going to do with the battery pack? Well, I know these should officially, and normally I would run these on a proper transformer, but I don't have one that drops to 3 volts. Or not one that I want to use regular. In fact, I might put it up there with Velcro so I can take it down easier to change the batteries. So yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll put that up with Velcro, but I'll do that off camera. I'm just going to use double-sided Velcro pads. I just want to show you this thing actually working. And you can say, oh yeah, I like that, or oh no, I don't like it. Right, without any further ado, let's get this thing fired up. The switch I've gone and put down here, turn him on. There we go. 1 N-gauge wind turbine. Shall we set the locos going? There we go then. Let me turn this flash off. There we go. I'll turn the lights of the railway on. Here comes the lights. And we'll turn the bottom train on, which should be this one. There he goes. There he goes. Perfect. And now we'll start the top train. And there goes the top train. Here he comes. So there is our trains passing by our wind turbine. There we go. There, isn't that lovely? There's our trains passing our wind turbine. He's going through that back tunnel. He's gone over the top. He'll come out of there. Here he comes. There we go. There we have it. There we go. There's our wind turbine and our trains. Excellent stuff. Anyhow, I'm not going to bore you guys with this too much. If you head over to Man Cave on Trains, the other channel, I will also post this video on there, and you'll see more train videos on there. Some of them are real full-size freight trains. Others are model trains. And there you go. Let's slow them down a bit. They're starting to race. Let's slow him down. There we go. We like slow moving trains. There. Da, 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 da. Hey, lovely. So this is what Man Cave does in his spare room of his house when he's not messing around trying to fix engines and do stuff. Let's park this train. Let's reverse him up. Come on, back you come. Hopefully he'll back up and go down this siding. There we go. There he goes. There they go. There he goes. And he's parked. So he's now parked up in his siding. We can stop him along the top. There we go. There's our wind turbine. We can turn that off. We can turn our lights off. And our layout is shut down. Right, that is it. Thank you very much for watching. So we will be back with more engine stuff soon, so please don't run away just because you've seen me with model trains. I don't post them videos very often on here because I know my normal viewers are probably not into all this stuff. This needs to be straightened out. He weren't straight. There we go. He toppled a bit, and that's much better. Right, that's it. Bye-bye for now. Ha ha.